Blanco, get out of my seat, bro. Yeah, I know. Ayahuasca, a psychedelic brew native to many tribes of the Amazon rainforest. All of you have probably heard the name ayahuasca, but if I were to ask you anything about it, many people have no idea. Like, how is it used traditionally? What are actually all the ingredients? What does it do to your body, physically and spiritually? And many more questions. And in my opinion, the only way to actually answer these questions is to study with the people that invented this witch's brew. So that brings me here. Balls deep in the Amazon rainforest for the next month, living with a family of one of these tribes, learning their language, their cultures, their religion, eating the same breakfast, lunch, and dinner, taking so many f***ing cold showers. Oh my god, I miss hot showers. In hopes of trying to understand this brew. And yeah, I will be doing a lot of ayahuasca. So if you're not already familiar with ayahuasca, the brief history is it's been used for probably thousands of years in the Amazon rainforest by different tribes. But our understanding of it in the West in the early days, a few hundred years ago with explorers and missionaries, was very like this devilish potion. You know, no one really took the time to actually understand why these tribes are doing it, what exactly it was, until you had people like Richard Spruce or Richard Evan Schultes. These people, these ethnobotanists, Richard Evan Schultes, the father of ethnobotany, these guys came to the Amazon, and Richard Evan Schultes actually lived with tribes in the Amazon for 13 years. And they kind of exposed the rest of the world to how these shamans or healers in these tribes used ayahuasca to help their community, to have a better understanding of spirituality. But for reasons that you will very soon understand, it didn't really catch on in the West to do it until kind of recently, a few decades ago. And it slowly became kind of a thing for Westerners, gringos, to come to countries like Peru and do ayahuasca ceremonies with these shamans of these tribes. And that's kind of a popular thing to this day now. And why people do it is like typical psychedelic reasons: to kind of find yourself, to maybe help with addictions, to help with transitions in life. So with that background, let's start to answer, what is ayahuasca? Answering the question, what is ayahuasca, is both very simple and very, very, very complicated. So we should probably just start with the simple. And right now, me and the family are about to go to the local market to buy some ingredients. I was wrong. We're not going to the market. I have no idea where we're going. Yeah, I have no idea where we are. Buenos días.
Siéntese, meta, siéntese. Ponte cómoda. La costumbre de Shipibo es así. Cuando alguien visita, invita.
Okay. So Papa Romaldo just said a word that is the first key to understanding ayahuasca in the Amazon rainforest, which is Shipibo. Shipibo is his tribe name, and how the Amazon rainforest works is it is indescribably massive and super dense, right? And so because of those facts, there are tons of different tribes within the Amazon rainforest. There's the Achuar, like the head shrinkers, the Shuar, there's the Ashanika, there's the Shipibo, there's the Watoto. All of them have different languages that are not intelligible by the others. Some of them are related, some of them have wars and beef with each other. There's stereotypes. It's a whole can of worms. It's very fun to learn about. And why you need to know that when you're studying the ethnobotany of the Amazon rainforest is that no one tribe actually knows all the plants in the Amazon. It's impossible to. There's like 40,000 plant species in the Amazon. And so each tribe actually has their own medicines or plants that they go to more than the other. Tribes like the Yanomami sometimes snort this plant called yopo that gets this very strong effect, but if you go to the Achuar tribe and ask for yopo, they probably don't know what the fuck that is, but they can give you combo, which is a frog venom that they'll burn a hole and then they'll rub the venom in and you'll get a very strong effect. But if I asked a Shipibo about combo, which I have, none of them have ever heard of it. They wouldn't even know what frog they're using. So each tribe has their own secret medicine, and that same thing goes for ayahuasca. Some tribes use ayahuasca and have for maybe millennia, while others don't at all. And maybe of the most influential tribes as far as what it comes to ayahuasca use, especially in the present day Peru, is the Shipibo tribe. And that's the family and the tribe that I've been staying with and study with. So this video is a story of ayahuasca, but it is a story of ayahuasca through the lens of Shipibo identity and modern day Peru. And before we go back to where the fuck they took me, and oh, it's crazy, let me go downstairs and just introduce you guys to a little bit of Shipibo culture and language so you can hear it and get adjusted. Hold on, let's go say hi to Jordi. Sí, estoy trabajando. Jordi, Miyaki Hawakuskara Taniki. Bueno, ¿terminaste?
Sí, ya acabé todo.
Sí, ok, puedo verlo.
Sí,
Bueno.
claro.
¿Podría decirlo ahorita?
Leerlo.
Sí, en Shipibo.
Ya. Gara pikuta ikirabu ani himankunias. Puntu itan winupaku kaine. Shipibo konivo.
We love Jordi. He's a good kid. So that's Shipibo. It sounds very different than Spanish because it's not even remotely related to Spanish. It predates Spanish in this part of the world by many hundred years, and that's what they speak pretty much all day, every day to each other. Like when I'm in the house, they don't speak Spanish unless they're talking to me. They're speaking in Shipibo to each other. I was in a village of 300 of a Shipibo village, and part of the adult population didn't speak any Spanish. Like I'd say like, hola, ¿cómo estás? And they'd be like, ah. So yeah, you're gonna learn a lot about Shipibo in this video, but I just wanted to give you an introduction, and let's go back to where they took me and acquiring the ayahuasca. Or es un combinación.
Combinación, todo. Yacuruna y
Oh, es preparado.
preparado.
This is like their cousin, or I don't really know, but she's Shipibo as well. So we're buying like already prepared bottles of ayahuasca from her. But I told them, like, I want to see the process of preparation. So we're also going to ask her to see the preparation. Llegaron.
Ay,
Muy buenos días.
Buenos
¿Cómo va? Me llamo Alberto.
Alberto, Meta.
Meta. Mi nombre es Shipibo Wasampani. Sí.
es otro maestro.
That is Beto, and I didn't know it at this time, nor did he, but we were about to become very, very close over the next week.
Tiene varios procesos.
¿En serio?
Sí.
¿Por qué?
Demora 3 días.
When I told them I wanted to see and learn how they make ayahuasca, they proceeded to explain to me that it's not something you just go and cook up real quick. It takes 3 days. It's a lot of work. And then they actually explained to me that a lot of the people that give ayahuasca ceremonies around here or sell ayahuasca, they don't make it, and a lot of them don't even know necessarily how to make it because it's a lot of work. So families like this who have connections and know how to make it good end up selling it in these botellas, bottles.
2 litros. Aquí hay 2 botellas acá adentro.
Okay.
Acá 1 y acá son 3.
¿Cuánto cuesta esto?
Bueno, cada botella cuesta 400 soles.
El cuesto para un Shipibo y el cuesto para un gringo. ¿Qué es la diferencia? Porque yo sé hay una diferencia.
Sí. Bueno, siempre nosotros vendemos así cuando preparamos.
So that's a bit of a blunt question, and really the reason why I asked it is because there's actually a lot of things going on in this interaction that I think we really do need to discuss. So first thing, when Beto showed up, notice what he was wearing. He was wearing traditional Shipibo men's clothing, and you can tell it's Shipibo because of the specific designs that he has. This is traditional Shipibo patterns. Their name for the pattern is Kunu. Kunu is the Shipibo name for design. So he had the traditional clothing. He also had the traditional Shipibo crown that you see. And he came in and said, my name is Beto, but my Shipibo name is Wasampani. Okay. He was doing a dance for the white man. This is where I need to introduce, I'm going to be very blunt in this video. I've spent a month here, gotten my foot cut open with them. I've went piranha fishing with them. I've went through hell and back. We've went through arguments. There's been tears. Like, this is family. And as family, I'm going to be very honest on what I think I'm seeing. And Beto was doing a dance for the white man. And you see this a lot out here. In the town that I'm in, it's called Pucallpa. It's 20,000 people. There are not a lot of foreigners. I've seen maybe over the last few weeks, 4 white people the entire time. And the white people that are here for the specific reason of finding a shaman and doing ayahuasca to see other people's culture. So naturally, a lot of the people have become accustomed to when they see a white person, they go, quick, take off your shoes and shirt and paint your face and like do a dance. They'll go crazy. They'll pay tons of money, right? They're not making shit up. Like that is actually part of their custom to do those things. But there's also a time and place for that. And they have brand new phones with internet service. Like when I went to the village of 300 people, I was the first white person to ever be there, okay? Everyone had a polo on. I hate to break it to you, you know? There's no fault in that. It is part of their job to be performative, to give people what they want. We all do a version of this. When I'm flirting with a girl, I'll probably bring up the fact that I read Sylvia Plath one time. Am I going to tell him that I fucking hated it? No, but that's performative. That's what you do. I actually have the unique ability of not being able to shut my mouth, so I usually do say that I hate it. But the fig tree analogy was kind of cool. Anyways, this is the financial underpinning, and that's why I was a bit, honestly, standoffish, because people will nickel and dime you out here, and I'm just not about it, so I was a bit standoffish. But eventually, we struck a deal. And the deal was, if I buy the ingredients and pay the maestro 300 soles, he will spend the next 3 days teaching us every step of the process. And at the end of the entire process, we will have a massive bottle of ayahuasca for ourselves. But before we get to that, we need to talk about the most important part of this video, which is today's video partner, NordVPN. Some of you are out here raw dogging the internet, going on tons of websites, looking up weird videos like ayahuasca stuff, and everyone can see what you're doing. People can snatch up your logins or your password or your age, your location, what your shopping habits were. And a VPN is what you can use to protect yourself from all that. There's also very pragmatic reasons to have a VPN. Like sometimes I want to research like I'm in another country and get different search results. I might want access to certain streaming platforms or something that are geo-blocked. Very cool. But what's even cooler is if you buy a 2-year plan with NordVPN, you get an additional bonus 4 months on top of that. There's also a 30-day money-back guarantee if you're not happy with the product. Using NordVPN is an easy experience. You flip it on real quick to protect you from all the nasty stuff of the internet. NordVPN.com/Beshay. So right now we are following the maestro to get ingredients, and we just entered a Shipibo village, kind of on the outskirts of the city.
Yeah.
Chacruna. Esto es como 3 años, 4 años.
Este ya tiene 15 años.
15 años. Oh yeah, this is Chacaruna. This is like a bit of like a small little Chacaruna farm. They're harvesting, I think, for us. Chacaruna, or Psychotria viridis. It is in the Rubiaceae family with plants like kratom and coffee. Simple leaves that grow in opposite directions of each other. It's about as forgettable as a plant as you can find. I mean, it is... The leaves don't have a memorable flavor. There's really, like, you walk past a Chacaruna plant and you go, that's just a boring-ass plant. There's really not much to it. But it's our first ingredient, and it actually might be the most important ingredient in the entire ayahuasca preparation. And the reason for that is because it contains the compound that gives the ayahuasca user the psychedelic effect, DMT, or dimethyltryptamine. So about dimethyltryptamine, it's classified as far as like its drug classification as a tryptamine, which is the same class of psychedelics that magic mushrooms are in, right? But a lot of us have probably heard the term dimethyltryptamine or DMT in the media, but not in the context of ayahuasca, because in the West, DMT is actually done in a completely different way often, and that's by actually smoking it. People will extract DMT from plants. There's actually many plants that have DMT in it. They'll extract it, make this like extract powder, and then you smoke it. And I have done that so many times, not because I wanted to, because when I was younger, my friends wanted to, and I wanted friends. Similar to like all psychedelic experiences, there's no way for me to actually put it into words for you to understand, but it's just like, I don't know, I've felt the synchronicity with God, and I'm not even a religious person. I had ego death and just existed as a point in empty space before. Like, there's no way to, it's insanity, right? And the whole experience is like 8 minutes. You're in and out, right? But the thing with these leaves, these Chacaruna leaves, is that if you were to eat them, even though they have DMT, you actually wouldn't get an effect. And that's because DMT, when you eat it, will actually be broken down by your body faster than the effects can hit you. So by themselves, these chacaruna leaves won't do anything. And that's why we need the next ingredient. The ayahuasca vine. So we came here to buy the vine, and we're buying a sack, like a big old sack, for about $45. Es como dos años, 3 años.
¿Cuántos años tiene, maestro?
¿Cuántos años tiene?
Más de 3 años.
Casi
tiene.
Más de 3 años,
Casi
ok.
Casi 4 años ya. Esto también. Todo esto son ayahuasca.
It's an exceptionally tough vine, and it has this like signature winding that is just like, it's gorgeous. It's so pretty. It wraps around trees. It's so cool. It's what you want. Ooh,
Es mucura. Mucura.
ooh, that kind of smells like tuna. Okay, so before we get into ayahuasca, I think we need to take a break and explain this, because this would happen all the time, where I'd be walking around with Abuelo Beto or like Papa Romaldo, and they'd be like, hey, look at this plant. This is very powerful. We use it for this. Or look at this plant. Like, I have like a Rolodex of like over 10, 20 plants that just like, oh, we use it for this. Very interesting. So Shipibo people's relationship with the plants around them can be kind of hard to understand at first, because they're not just plants to them, but plants are kind of part of their belief system, or almost like traditional religion. There are tons of plants that have very clear pharmacological effects. They have mapacho, which is a species of tobacco you'll learn about later, but it's like wicked strong, tons of nicotine in it, and it's very clear it has an effect. Or towe, which sometimes they have used in the past to find dead bodies that have washed down the river or discover murderers. And towe contains scopolamine, it's delirium. So yeah, you will have visions of really dark shit on that. So it has very clear effects. But then there's plants like muchatirao.
Esto es para curar varón, para que tenga buena puntería, para que sea buen pescador.
Oh.
Esto se coge y se lo frota acá en la mano.
Traditionally, Shipibos are hunter-gatherers, and so if you wanted to eat, you went hunting or fishing. And there's kind of like this idea that someone can be a yopa. Yopa's like someone who's just bad at supplying food for its family. And so to cure that, what they'll do is they will give you muchatirao, which is the plant of a good fisherman, of a good hunter. And that's what this plant is used for. Gabriel, he was actually given this as a kid, and so... ¿Tú has probado muchatirao? Sí. ¿Cuándo tenía cuántos años? 8 o 10. Oh, algo así. He's tried it, and they were like, yeah, that's why he's like a little bit better of a hunter than a lot of people. Is there pharmacological effect in that? No. There's nothing probably in that will give you the ability to hunt fish better, you know? But that's because a lot of plants out here don't have a pharmacological effect, but they have a dueño. Every plant has a dueño, or an owner. Okay, it's kind of like a spirit within the plant. And by using the plant, eating it, putting it into your eyes, rubbing it in your hands, whatever, you can get the power of that plant within you. And let me just say, learning this in the beginning is like really fun and cute. And you're like, oh my God, that's so cool doing this. But as someone who's trying to study like ethnobotany and trying to find powerful plants like chemically, it gets pretty exhausting pretty fast, because the line of what's powerful to them spiritually or like chemically is really blurry. So like the amount of times they've hit me with Meta, look at this plant. This is an insanely powerful plant. Oh my God, it's so powerful. And I'm like, oh my God, I just discovered a new fucking plant drug. This is sick, right? And then I'm like, well, what is it used for? Like, what does it feel like? And they'll be like, it'll protect you from bad vibes so good. Oh my God. ADHD side quest over. Let's get back to ayahuasca. Where were we? Ayahuasca, or Banisteriopsis caapi. It is in the Malpighiaceae family, with plants like Barbados cherries. Not true cherries, Barbados cherries. They're different. It's classified as a liana, or a liana, which is a woody vine. Its evolutionary niche is to be this really tough vine, like wood, that will climb up trees to get access past the canopy to the sunlight, right? And ayahuasca is a gorgeous plant. Oh my gosh, it is so strong, it can get massive. While exploring in the village, we actually found this ayahuasca vine that they told us was 20 years old. And it's like, look at it. It's like a tree trunk. It's insane. It is so huge. And ayahuasca has this signature spiral in it that's actually a way that they can kind of tell the difference between different vines.
Así se lo conoce la ayahuasca. Esto no tiene corazoncito, tiene.
Esto sí es ayahuasca, por la figurita.
Oh. Harvesting ayahuasca vine, it's kind of a bitch. They are really tough. You need a machete, and they like wrap around the tree trunks and the branches. So you're just, I mean, look at this. This family's business is to sell ayahuasca vines, but the farm obviously looks a lot different than, let's say, the Chacaruna farm, because you need it to be kind of in the jungle, because ayahuasca needs to climb trees, which, you know, seems cool, but trust me, like, the jungle sounds cool. It's not cool, bro. It's fucking hard. The second you get into something that's even kind of jungly out here, the fucking zancudos, like the mosquitoes just suck so much. Oh, the bugs here are insane. Okay, never mind. The bugs in the jungle are, this is a different level. Fucked. I'm so fucked. I'm so fucked. Like, there's no way to describe it. I have permanent scars all over my body because of the mosquitoes out here. I'm not joking. But the question you should be asking is, why do we need the ayahuasca vine? How does it help us solve the problem we're having with the chacaruna leaves? It's time for chemistry. So as I explained earlier, the problem with eating DMT containing stuff like chacaruna leaves is that the DMT will get broken down by your body faster than you can feel the effects. But why? Like, what in your body is doing that? Why is it doing that? In your body, there are these chemicals called monoamines, and you are familiar with monoamines. Serotonin is a monoamine. Dopamine is a monoamine. Melatonin is a monoamine. These are neurotransmitters in our body that help us function, help us know when to go to sleep, when to feel happy, when to feel sad, when to feel excited and motivated. But there's a time and place for them. You can't have too much serotonin or dopamine or melatonin, because then you won't be regulated. You won't be able to go to sleep, or you might have a lot of aggression. There's actually mental illnesses tied to too much of these monoamines. And so the solution your body has is to have these other chemicals, these enzymes, called monoamine oxidases. And don't let the name scare you. Monoamine oxidases, this big word, MAOs, their job is just to break down these monoamines. That's their job, so you can stay regulated. Now, what this has to do with chacaruna leaves and DMT is that DMT, it is a monoamine. And so these monoamine oxidases, MAOs, break them down really fast. So now you understand the problem. DMT keeps getting broken down in your body because your body, using these MAOs, thinks it's a dopamine molecule or serotonin molecule, so it shuts it down. But what if we could stop these MAOs from working for just a little bit so we could get the effects of DMT? That's what the ayahuasca vine is for. And this is the last big words I'm going to say. Ayahuasca vine contains harmala alkaloids, okay? And these harmala alkaloids are monoamine oxidase inhibitors. MAOIs, and their simple job is to stop MAOs from working. Sometimes temporarily, sometimes permanently. That's a whole other subject. I know some of you might be like, what the fuck just happened? This is a subject in drug chemistry that even I have avoided for years because it's always scared me. Because it is kind of a mind fuck. It's like, you need monoamine oxidase inhibitors to stop the monoamine oxidases from stopping the monoamines. It's like it's a bit of a but we did it. That's the chemistry section. That's the chemistry of ayahuasca. And just so you know, MAOIs are not some obscure compound just in ayahuasca. MAOIs are in other plants like, I think, Syrian rue. But then also, MAOIs are sometimes used as an antidepressant. And as far as actually making the brew, I was going to show all that, but nah, I'm not going to do that. Patreon. But in short, you beat the hell out of some vines with a hammer to increase surface area. Then you put a massive pot on the fire and layer in vines, leaves, tons of water, and then you just boil the fuck out of it. We were there for 2 days. It's an insane amount of wood. You filter it again, then you reduce it to like a really small amount of liquid. And the shaman or maestro knows how much to boil it based on the texture. They can feel like, oh, it's like this amount of sticky, like oily feeling. It's ready. It's done. It's just kind of a feeling thing. And you get this.
Listo.
Woohoo!
Droga.
We did it. This is 4 days of work in one bottle. And this is a metric fuck ton. This is a lot. We don't know if it's good yet. I keep asking, like, hey, is this like good? And he's like, we're gonna try it tomorrow. So we'll find out. It's probably a little bit hard to see, but we just arrived. It's like 10 p.m. and we're walking into the jungle and there's not a single building or anything to see. We're just kind of walking in a swamp now. So we're walking towards the jungle and I have no idea what's to come or how long we're walking for. So how I started my ayahuasca preparation was a little bit unique. The family told me that they wanted to put me through a process called a dieta, but to start this dieta or diet, they wanted to start me out in the village where they're all originally from, which is that village of 300 people. They call it a community. And these communities or how Shipibos kind of exist in the Amazon. It's not like a centralized place where all Shipibos live. It's like this general area where there's tons of little pockets of communities. Now they warned me it was going to be an experience.
Va a sentar ahí.
One. And off we go. I don't think I knew how much of an experience it was gonna be.
This is where you go.
This is a huge river. Bro, this does not feel real. Look at this shit. We're trekking through like a jungle. What the fuck have I agreed to? This community is hours away from any doctor, any major town. It is the definition of rural. When I arrived, we had to have a meeting with the mayor, the jefe, the boss, and then the vice mayor, who would later become a good buddy of mine, because I was the first white person, and we had to explain like, hey, I don't want your organs. For the first 3 days, the kids would literally see me and scream and run because they were legitimately scared. The gringo wants your organs was like a joke throughout the whole trip. And I was there for a week. But the reason they brought me there actually started to make sense because a dieta is kind of comparable to fasting in some religions, but it's pretty intense. The dieta depends on the maestro or shaman, but you often live with them, and for the first day, you eat nothing, completely fasting, including no water. For the rest of the diet, you cleanse your body. And to the Shipibo tradition, it often includes no sex, no masturbation, no to little salt. The food you eat is often just plantains with fish that is unseasoned with anything, including oil. You can't eat any fish. You actually can only eat fish that have no teeth. The fish also cannot have a lot of fat on it. During this time, you can shower only with water. No soap is allowed. You can't eat things that are spicy. No alcohol. You cannot expose yourself to too much smoke from a fire. You often bathe yourself in these baths of, they say bañarse de florecimientos or something. I forgot. They're like certain plants that are used that you use to wash the bad vibes off of your body. Now the point of doing all these things is to purify your body, clean everything out of your body for the real point of the dieta, which is to use a plant of the maestro's choosing to heal what is wrong with you. And what plant is chosen depends on the problem that you have. Actually has dieted in the past because of, I think, stomach problems, so they gave her a remedy of certain plants to help her stomach problems. I did a dieta with the plant Kunuwasta, the wasta of design. It's a plant that is given often to young women. The legend is that that's how Shipibo women are able to make the designs of their tribe, through putting Kunuwasta in their eyes to see the designs. And so I chose to diet that plant. And with a rusty hammer, Maestro Romaldo ground up that motherfucking Kunuwasta every night and dripped that shit into my eyes and made me drink it. Okay. Wow.
Chévere.
Chévere. This is gonna sting. I can tell it's gonna sting. That taste is strong. It's not like a, oh, that's a subtle, it's a very peppery, spicy, yeah.
Yeah, uno. ¿Está bien?
Yeah, está bien.
Listo.
Now, dietas you don't really do for a week. At the bare minimum, you're often doing it for 15 days. I did one for a month. But dietas are also how a maestro or shaman is made. And a good shaman is often measured by how many plants he is dieted and for how long. Sometimes going for a year straight. And the dieta of a shaman includes doing a metric fuck ton of ayahuasca, all while doing all this other stuff. It's wild. Wait, actually, I want to ask Maestro Romaldo a quick question about that. Durante un dieta de un curandero,
Ya.
¿tomaría ayahuasca como cada 3 días?
Dependiendo. Durante todo el año puede ser una vez a la semana, 2 veces en 10 días.
Okay.
Todo dependiendo cómo el maestro quiere que su alumno. Pero es importante el proceso. La persona que dieta tiene que tomar ayahuasca porque tiene que adaptar su cuerpo, tiene que adaptar a ese contexto, a ese mundo para que pueda tener conexión con la planta, todo eso.
And for all these reasons, starting out in the community, I realized was a really good idea because there are no grocery stores or restaurants in the community. In fact, there are no stores, period, in the community. And so there's really no temptation. If you want to eat, you either fish for your dinner or your neighbor fishes and you might buy it off of them or something like that. If you want some plantains, you grow it. So dieting in the community was actually somewhat easy, even though I'm gonna be honest, I didn't do all those things. I did most of the things, but I didn't like starve myself for the first day, or they were easy on me because I'm not trying to do all that. But this is the preparation that I did before our first ceremony with Maestro Beto. Before we get into that, this community called Tumbuya, I love so much. Every day that passes that I'm away from there, I realize how much it changed how I look about the world. It's just, I have a different outlook on happiness and like, it's just amazing. But all that being said, they don't have any doctors. Their understanding of medicine is very limited. I had to explain at one point how to use some of the antibiotics that we brought. I think there's a lot of things that are amazing out there, but people die a lot out there for things that they don't need to die. People recently died from tuberculosis and they didn't need to die. Amaldo, this man, the grandpa in the family, he's such a sweet man. He just passed away 3 days ago. And a lot of people don't have to. Tuberculosis is like curable and they're good people. If you're a doctor or you know a doctor who's willing to go there and stay there for a few days and treat people, I will go with you, please. It would mean the world to them. It would make a massive difference. Please, hit me up, email me. I think that'd be awesome. Like an amazing idea. Okay, now it's time for the ceremony. My first ceremony was with Auntie Erica, Auntie Jerry, Brother Max, Papa Romaldo, niece Nicole, Beto's grandson Jairo, and Grandpa Beto. And we were at one of the aunties' house. And every one of these people, except for Nicole and I, is an experienced maestro in their own right. Each of them has done ayahuasca so many times they can't even count. Beto, when he's working with clients, has to do it every 3 days for sometimes weeks. They know how to do ayahuasca. So you would think in a room full of maestros, you don't need a singular maestro, but it's actually quite important to have a singular maestro lead the ceremony, is what I've been told. And because Beto has the most experience, he was the one that was going to lead it. We first all sat in a circle, and one by one, we all bathed in plants. Oh, it smells so good. Gotta do a prayer for what I want. And, you know, just to show respect for the plants. Y'all know me, I'm a skeptic, but I do take this stuff quite seriously. Like, is it real? I don't know. It's not my job to know if it's real. All I'm gonna do is try my best to give it the respect it might deserve. Now, the first thing Beto did was whistle this song into a cigarette. Now, what he's doing is very intentional. He is charging his mapacho. Mapacho, or Nicotiana rustica, it is in the Solanaceae family with tons of shit. It is a species of tobacco native to the jungle, and it is wicked strong. I mean, I think it's on average 3 to 5 times stronger than the tobacco you and me are used to. And you'd think like, oh shit, like this stuff is awesome. It's fucking strong. It's way too strong to even inhale. If you inhale it, it just like...
Es más fuerte, sí. Bastante más fuerte.
And it's a fundamental tool of a shaman in a ceremony. They need it. Now you see that he's whistling something, and that whistling is his Ícaro. And the Ícaro is the major tool the maestro has for protecting your soul, basically. Ícaro is a song. It's not a common song. It's not a song that everyone knows. Every maestro has their own Ícaro, their own song that they have developed. And as I've spent time with all the maestros and heard all their Ícaros and seen ceremonies, it's very funny. Like, they all have their own, like, swag to it. Like, Papa Romaldo's Ícaro is, like, kind of hatan, 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 hatan.
Iraku ayuda, poderoso medicina.
But his son, Demir, has, like, this, like, ghostly pentatonic, like, na, 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 na. Now, there are words to an Ícaro, but at this moment, Beto's not saying any words. He's just doing the rhythm in the song into the mapacho, and you see this a lot. This is how a lot of maestros will, like, put their soul into something, often mapacho, which enables them to... Next, Beto went around smoking and breathing mapacho smoke on all of us with this charged cigarette. And this is not rude. Mapacho is seen as very cleansing. The smoke of mapacho is often how you protect someone, by charging it up and giving that energy to the person next to you. It set this tone of, I'm here to protect you. Like, Maestro in that moment was like very fatherly and very much like, I got you. Like, I'm going to do all this work, all of this energy to every single one in this room. And it kind of mentally set me up for the next stage, which is taking the ayahuasca. The amount of ayahuasca you are given is decided by the maestro based on what he thinks is best for you. And you then do a prayer to the ayahuasca for, they told me, a minute, 2 minutes. Really put some intentionality. Ask and pray to the plants in the ayahuasca for what you want.
Oh. Muy bien. El sabor es rico.
It's very bitter. It's very, there's a fishiness to it, like a vinegariness to it. It's not really, really bad, but it's not great. Now, what is often very shocking to a lot of people is that the maestro will always do the ayahuasca with you, which I think a lot of people are like, oh my God, like the trip sitter's going to be tripping too. That's very important, and there's actually historical reasons why that's important as well. And after everyone takes it, the lights go out. It's time to turn off the lights. I'm going to keep some mapacho in my ear. And as far as like the vibe in here, everyone's pretty serious. Like, this is not, it's pretty serious. People aren't joking around too much. Everyone's very like mentally prepared. And you sit concentrating for a long time. They would tell me over and over again, you need to concentrate. And you just like meditate in lotus position. 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes. As the ayahuasca was starting to give me effects, it was like perfectly timed. Beto was singing this little Ícaro, this little whistle. It was kind of creepy. Like, not like a, oh, I'm scared, but like a whoa. And as the effects started to get stronger, so did his Ícaro. He like was timing the trip. He was also on the same trip that I was. And right when the effects were really starting to hit strong, I hear Beto crawl over next to me. And all of his energy, he burst out in song into his Ikaro, right to me.
Churu churu wainki matanjo ramuabi churu ira buai bua bua jamani wina kata shonja hakumani wabu hakuma kanobu churu churu wainki matanjo ramuabi churu ira buai bua bua jamani wina kata shonja hakumani wabu hakuma kanobu as you listen to my song, I won't steer you wrong. Protect you with my life and with my medicine. As you listen to my song, I won't steer you wrong.
Churu churu bainge mato yura mayabe churu ira bawaye bawa bawa jamane oya kasansoda.
As all of us tripped on ayahuasca, and actually the Spanish word that they use is actually mareado, which is to be dizzy with the effects of ayahuasca, Beto went person to person, singing each person their own Ikaro, based on what he felt that person needed. And every person needed a different thing. Like, some people were having kind of a bad time and needed help with something in their life, maybe to be a better father, to be a better teacher, or maybe they just had anxiety about life, and he would sing, and you could really feel that his song had a profound effect on each and every one of us, and he gave every single person their own moment. He didn't skip anyone. But halfway through his songs, he started to have a problem where he started puking, and it wasn't like a little bit, it was like a lot. You could hear everyone was concerned, and I was very concerned. I was about to say, like, hey, can I go get some water, you know? They immediately were like, everyone, grab mapacho now. And we all, like, furiously started smoking the mapacho, and I asked, like, why are we doing this? And they're like, he needs to be cleansed, that there's demons that he's taking out of us, someone else in this room, and we need to cleanse him with our mapacho. But eventually, like the G that Beto is, he quickly recovered and then continued to sing the rest of the songs for everyone. It was very impressive. And as maybe an hour or two passed, the effects started to also go down, and gradually I started to hear voices from each person saying things in their native language. And you could tell that they were interjecting, trying to probe other people to see how they were. Sometimes they would check in on me.
Meta, tranquilo.
Sí, tranquilo. ¿Con tú?
Sí, igual.
Buenísimo. Buenísimo.
Todos estamos okay.
And as time went on and the effects went down, the talking became more and more, and then laughter came and stories came, and we just ended up hanging out in the pitch dark, giving each other massages, talking about life. I didn't understand a goddamn thing everyone was saying, but, like, I felt included. And they all explained to me that after a ceremony, it is quintessential to do this, to kind of decompress and talk about life. And they explained to me that they were talking about things of life, of you know, maybe someone died in one person's family, and, oh, this funny story happened with me over here, and they just kind of talked, and it went on for hours until we all just fell asleep right there. Now, the first question you're probably wondering is, what does it feel like? Wow, where do I start? So it's related to shrooms, like, chemically, and it feels like kind of in the same family, but it is very different than shrooms. So shrooms is a lot brighter to me. It's a lot more happy, a lot more energetic. Ayahuasca is much darker. It's actually weirdly sedating. It's the first psychedelic I've ever done where I was, like, ready to sleep while tripping. Like, the entire time everyone's yawning. It's very interesting. It's very, very relaxing. I actually got 0 visuals, but what I did get was, this is so weird to explain. It killed my ego just enough for me to see every person in the room with perfect clarity. Like at this point in the trip, I had like disagreements or feelings towards certain members, but the ayahuasca like killed that. And I saw every single member perfectly. I saw their motivation, what made them happy, what made them sad, what problems they have in life. It was like a superpower. Like I could see their pure, true self. It felt like pure love. It felt like just profound love. Now, the second thing I want to address is the big question of, is this traditional, what we're doing? No. Kinda. No. So if you were part of the many Americans or people around the world who want to come to Peru to have like, you know, this authentic experience, you're not going to have an authentic experience. The retreats that you go to, they are catered to have you have a good experience. I'm not saying that it's a bad idea. I'm just saying to say, oh, I like studied traditional shamanism. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. There's just really no way to do so, especially for a foreigner. It's just not possible. And by the way, everyone here calls themselves a maestro. If you like throw a rock and say, hey, is there a shaman around here? A million guys will just show up and be like, hey, yeah, let me sell you a ceremony. You got to be careful. You have to be careful. But in this case where I'm like doing ayahuasca with a whole bunch of Shipibos who like, this is like what they do. This is how they were raised to do it, right? Is this traditional? And this actually, I spent a lot of time studying this to try to get to the answer to this. And I'll start to answer it like this. When I was in this old school Shipibo village where some people don't even speak Spanish, I asked damn near every adult I possibly could, have you done ayahuasca? Have you done ayahuasca? Have you done ayahuasca? And almost every single adult had never done it. And when I asked them why, they said, well, one, I'm scared, and two, I don't even know how to do it. The only exception to this was Amaldo, who's very, very old and raised all of his kids to know the plants around them. But many of the kids don't even know the plants. Many of the adults don't even know the medicinal plants. Now, when I learned this, I was like, wait, what? So, like, is ayahuasca, like, not traditional? Like, what? Was I just, like, fed a lie? No. So, I actually got the answer to why this is the case from Beto. And Beto's a really good example because he's old as shit, one. So he actually remembers old school Shipibos, and he's part of the new generation of shaman/maestros. And he explained to me, ayahuasca was never for the regular man. So sorry if I get a little rambly. This stuff gets really deep and it's very interesting. But back in the day, there wasn't just one type of healer, but in the Shipibo tradition, there was actually multiple classes of healers. At the lowest level, you have the Yobu. The way they've kind of been described to me as witches. So they were very powerful people that might have dieted a lot, that were very familiar with ayahuasca, that had a lot of power, but they often used that power to hurt people. And so someone might call over a Yobu to their sick family member or whatever to say, hey, can you do a ceremony? Can you help this person? The Yobu would actually end up doing dark magic on them to curse them because of envy. The thing that they keep saying is like, there's a lot of envy in the heart of a Yobu. Now, the next class of healer was an Onanya. From what I could gather, the Onanya class of healers are actually the ancestors of modern day healers that you see in Shipibo tradition. And these people were said to be absolute experts in plants. The diets that they did were not 6 months, not a year like today. They were sometimes 3 years, 5 years. These people dedicated their entire life to doing this. They were masters of the plants. And the diets that they did were exceptionally hard. A thing that I've heard multiple times from different people is that back in the day, an old school healer, they had to eat the entire fish, including the spine. And if they didn't eat the spine, then they just canceled their entire diet. It didn't count. Now, the Onanya were people that, if you were a good Onanya, you would build a name for yourself, and people from other Shipibo communities might call you over to their community to help some of their sick. And this Onanya would hold a ceremony with these sick people by doing ayahuasca. I remember at this point I was like, oh, so the sick would do the ayahuasca with the healer. And I remember Beto told me, he's like, no, what? That's a terrible idea. You don't want the sick doing ayahuasca. That would like do more damage to them. Only the healer does ayahuasca. And because this Onanya has dieted so many plants around them using ayahuasca as well, they could not only see with perfect vision what every person's sickness was, but they, because of their diets, knew exactly what plant could help each person and how to help each person exactly. Now, the final class of healer is a legendary class. It's called the Mujaya. Romaldo has described to me, they're almost like demigods. They often lived very solitary lives, often abstaining from sex. They were exceptionally disciplined, and they had dedicated their entire life to communicating with the gods and the plants. And though they still did ayahuasca and ceremonies, they were said that they were so in touch with the spirit realm and everything around them that they didn't need ayahuasca anymore. They could communicate with the dead. They could see exactly what your ailment was just by looking at you. But the takeaway as far as ayahuasca was that regular people never were supposed to do ayahuasca. It was a tool for healers that were pretty dedicated people to understand the spirituality of the world, the plants around them, and to help people to see with clarity. And it's not something that anyone really ever played with. It seemed like it was something that was supposed to bring fear to the average person, the average Shipibo, because only healers were supposed to do it. But I kind of want to bring out my skeptic side in this, because obviously, every religion has their stories of legends and people who could walk on water and all that kind of stuff. But as far as in modern day, me talking to maestros out here, shamans out here, there is a personality type, and it's a funny one. I've found that often healers that are the most popular, that people like to go to the most, are often the most charismatic. They are, for lack of a better term, showmen. Beto, old as shit, don't get it twisted, that man gets tail. It's important to remember that during a ceremony, a healer is also putting on a show for people. Often people who are not under the same influence of drugs that he is. I mean, at one point I did a ceremony and I ended up taking twice as much as Beto, Romaldo, and Max. Oh good lord. Talk about ego death. That was a stupid decision. Someone who was in the ceremony who didn't take any ayahuasca, as Beto sang to them, she started crying. And when I asked her afterwards why she was crying, she described that his ikaro felt like he was singing to me, that it was made just for me. He was able to untangle her problems with his song, all while the man is tripping balls. And it's worth noting that a lot of Shipibo I've talked to, they've actually been in ceremonies, but they were in old school ceremonies where they didn't take the ayahuasca, just the shaman did. But they often tell me that it was a profound experience even though they didn't know ayahuasca. It was just the shaman seeing them with the power of ayahuasca. What comes to mind is what makes a good doctor is not only knowledge of the medicine, but also the charisma to have your patient do the right thing. Like someone who's like just a hyper autistic doctor who's really brilliant and knows shit, that's great on paper, but then try to convince your patient that they need to eat healthy. They have to have both charisma and knowledge, and that's exactly what a good healer has as well. I've had to cut out so much of this story. I mean, I've actually been here for almost 2 months now. I've cut out a lot of information. There's so much, but it's what you gotta do. But to finish the story up, I've actually always wanted to have merch, right, for you guys to buy. And while with the Shipibo, I came up with the idea that why don't we just buy a bunch of grandma's art that is hand-stitched, and I mean hand-stitched. It often takes weeks, if not months, for some of these pieces. And you can buy this hand-stitched art that I delivered from Peru. Me and the family brought it directly from the grandmas that make them. You'd be supporting them and the channel. So the link in the description, it might be like an Etsy link right now, but also in my description is the email or number of Romaldo. And if you want to get in contact with him, and if you want to learn from him and maybe do some ceremonies, and if you want me to do a story on your country or culture, leave a comment. Bye.